Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Big Bald Book Club, where myself and Scott Manley Hadley take on this week's piece of literature, which is Philip K. Dick's "Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?" This is a futuristic novel written in 1968.
Yeah, it's set in the far future of 1992, which is always fun at the start of a sci-fi book, I think.
Yeah, it was written in 1968. I'm great at the dates. So yeah, it was pretty much like the inspiration for the film Blade Runner.
I've got a very sexy vintage edition with that printed right on the front. Very happy with this little find I had.
And this one kind of matches your outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's written about after pretty much like all dystopian books. It's like the worst fears were realised from the 60s, and a nuclear winter has ensued. Everybody has sort of gone off to Mars with
everyone with cash, everyone with money,
and everyone has been given an android to help them because they can
because they've left all the poor people behind. There's no cheap labour, so they've made cheap labour by making robots.
Yes, and so they've all gone off. The robots aren't liking it. There's a couple of them think that they should be treated like real people and they shouldn't have to do all these horrible jobs. So a group of them travel back to Earth. On Earth, we are joined by Rick Deckard, who is a bounty hunter, who is a Blade Runner.
They don't call them that in the book.
Yeah, that came later with the movie.
It's a phrase from William S. Burroughs, who wrote Queer and Junkie, one of the grandfather of the beat poets. Blade Runner was a phrase that he invented.
What was it?
I don't know the context, but he published a book called Blade Runner, in the 70s, I think. So
we're joined with Rick Deckard, who is hunting bounties, and he's hunting Andes, who are androids who have pretty much like ran off of their station. They're AWOL, and he's wrangling them in.
And that's kind of it. That's
kind of like the plot summary, wouldn't it? Not the synopsis, but the plot summary.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
It's good. I mean, there's a lot of world building in there, isn't it?
Do you know why I really liked it?
Shorter than
because it wasn't Wuthering Heights.
If you want to hear Martin's thoughts on Wuthering Heights, check out the previous episode. We're not going to mention it again.
It's funny how a nuclear winter is far better than Wuthering Heights. But yeah, we're sort of. I really enjoyed it because there was a couple of wee bits in it that I thought was really lazy. And this is from the perspective of a person who doesn't read that much, but it seemed to be like, I do enjoy film, I do enjoy movies, and I know there's like certain formulas and ways to tell a story, but it seemed in this here that like he had put a lot of action in more unimportant parts. So whenever he hunts down there's a group of 8 androids or 6 androids.
Yeah. So androids keep coming back.
Yeah.
But the androids keep getting better. And
yes.
The better the androids are, the easier it is for the androids to pretend to be human, to integrate. They look more like people, they act more like people. And the company that makes the androids is getting loads of money. Because the people on the colonies, they want their servant robots to look as realistic as possible. And the counterweight with this is the people that are left on Earth, the poor people, the police people, and the other people, they all have pet robot animals.
Yes.
And it's the same company that makes the really realistic sheep, the really realistic owls, the really realistic frogs, as make the robots,
because
the people robots.
As part of this nuclear winter, all of the animals started to die first. Notably, the owls all died first. And I thought this was hilarious. All these here, like fat wee, like feather balls, are just lying on the pavements. And they're going, fucking.
Were there a lot more owls in the 1960s? Because I feel like if all the owls died, I wouldn't notice. I don't see owls. Or if pigeons died, that I'd be conscious of that. There's pigeons everywhere.
Yeah, but I think if you're in the countryside and like, you would spot like owls dead all the time. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
I haven't seen it.
That for me, that's the most unrealistic thing.
I haven't seen it
about.
It'd be more alarming if it was just like seagulls or something, or like pigeons. Yeah. I heard somebody called you an owl the other day.
So what's the second part of that joke?
You're meant to go. It's fucking. We're comedians, by the way.
I'm very suspicious. I'm very cynical. You know, I won't.
Name this person. It's like, no. So yeah, they all sort of come back, and like for the first three that he goes after, it was really building a story, and there was a great thing where one of these androids is an opera singer, and a very famous one at that. And she comes back, becomes an opera singer, completely under the radar, and Rick Deckard comes in to administer what is essentially the Voight test, and it's like an empathy test because androids aren't meant to empathize with humans. And there's a brilliant part where they break that down and say, like, this is why robots can't empathize. It's because they're pretty much outside of the food chain. And it's like, if you can kill it, you can eventually gain empathy for it, and you can turn into an omnivore. That's like how they explained it. I think loosely that's how they explained it. But yeah, then she calls the police, which is another android that she calls. Spoilers. And then take it to the police station, all this here sort of stuff. Like, that part of the story was really entertaining. It was like, oh, this is like a crime novel now nearly, and it's like it's going in and out of all these here. Like, we're trying to catch these people, and it's like, oh, this part's fantastic. Then there's a bunch of like philosophical things going on at the same time.
And there are also chapters that cut away to a guy who was able to bring people back from the dead, but had that
Mercer.
Yeah,
Mercerism, because that is the religion that has developed by this guy called Mercer.
But I think it implies that there were people born post the nuclear apocalypse who had magical powers, and then these were all medicalized out of them. Maybe I dreamt reading that bit, but I'm pretty certain that's in there.
No, I know,
because no one has magical powers.
I know the guy Mercer is seen as like I don't want to say it, like a modern day god,
and he's an android,
a modern day prophet. And is he an
with
android?
a PH?
He is an android. Is he an android?
Yeah, pretty much everyone's in it. Basically, everyone's an android. More and more people keep realizing they're androids.
But then people also have doubt themselves whether they're androids, including Rick Deckard
and another police officer,
and the other police officer.
The other one who's hunting down androids.
And he said, I find it really easy to kill them. It's like, because you have no empathy. I was like, oh my God, am I an android?
Yeah.
So there's stuff like that there. And I was like, yeah, Mercer, he's good. There's another guy, I forget his name, but it begins with I, and he's what is referred to as a chicken head. Yeah,
he's the guy who used to be able to bring animals back from the dead with magical powers from the radiation.
No.
And they made him stupid, and they made him lose his magical powers, and now he can only drive vans. Maybe I
thought it was just because he worked.
That.
I thought it was just because he worked at a
and he thinks he's bringing them back from the dead because he's fixing the broken robot animals. Yeah, so that might be true. I've read it on a long train journey. Maybe I was a little bit sleepy.
There's fake animals because all the animals are dying out. But pretty much these fake animals have to be serviced every year because it's a service industry. You know, like we have to check your pigeons' oil every 3 months or whatever, and like we have to service your sheep. It's like especially done in Wales. It's a real cheap joke. But yeah, this guy thinks that he thinks he's magic because he can bring these things back to life.
Well, that isn't how I read it. As he had genuine magical powers due to the nuclear apocalypse.
I think having androids is more realistic. We have androids right now.
Are you confessing to being...
No, I mean, like, there's definitely, like, we walk about robot people.
Yeah, but they don't coat them in skin, though, do they?
Yet.
Not yet.
Yeah,
no.
Only the expensive ones.
It's not real skin, though, is it, on those?
No, it's not, no. And they only live for 4 years in the book. Yeah.
Built-in obsolescence, which is exactly how phones operate.
The iPhone of people.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's probably a lot of, like, the San Francisco tech people, they all love science fiction, right? A lot of their ideas come from it. Probably is from that.
This was set in San Francisco.
Exactly.
I think.
Yeah.
So, that whole thing, but there was parts of it were, like, as a crime novel, it was really good. Like that, those first 2 acts were brilliant. But then I thought in the final act, it sort of all went to shit because he finds the last 3 in the chicken head's apartment. A chicken head is a word that they use to describe somebody who's like pretty much like losing their marbles, or like
they're not allowed to emigrate.
They're not allowed to emigrate.
They're not allowed to go off planet. Even if they had the money, they wouldn't be allowed to, because they're low stock.
They're low stock. They're not intelligent, but also their minds are degenerating. So, and that's because of like the fallout nuclear winter.
Kathy Heathcliff couldn't marry them, right?
Yeah, she would have to.
She was never called Kathy Heathcliff, was she? I've already forgotten that book from the previous.
Catherine Earnshaw. Yeah, she would have to marry Rick Deckard and raise the chicken heads up, and then take her along with her. You really should check out our episode on Wuthering Heights. It very illuminating of how much I dislike Emily Bronte. So that's grand, but like he ends up catching like the last 3 androids in the same apartment block. Now, in the film Blade Runner, this is a massive climax, and it's like, it's a big chase scene. We're going from building to building. We're actually in the chicken head guy's apartment, but he doesn't fix animals. He fixes little toys. That's the whole thing. And then there's that massive speech at the end about, I can't remember the actor's name, but like I've seen things.
Harrison Ford.
No, not Harrison Ford. The bad guy.
Oh, the other guy.
Beatties or Battis. But he's like, I've seen things stars in the skies that from Venus and all this here that are lost in tears in the rain. Right? That's that's a big famous quote that I murdered. But in the book, he just lines. He literally lines. It was setting up for to be such a massive there's one of the androids look like an android that Rick Deckard has just slept
another
with.
Android intentionally seduced him.
Yes.
And says, I go round, I'm the sexy android, and what I do is I find the people that are hunting androids, I seduce them, and then they can't kill androids anymore.
And she slept with the other policeman as well.
The other one who was still killing androids.
Yes.
The one who,
But that didn't stop him. But
didn't stop Rick Deckard either, did it?
No, it didn't stop him. But we're going to stop right here and go to a break and do some advertisements.
Hi, I'm Sam Rhodes, one of the co-founders of LAFS, the London Arts Facilitation Society. If you're enjoying watching or listening to any of this content, we'd really like you to donate a little bit of cash to help us build access to all of this wonderful stuff for working class people from all over England. You can go to laughs.org.uk to donate as little as £1 a month to help us keep the lights on and help us make lovely art, podcasts, comedy specials and even professional wrestling for you at home. Laughs.org.uk. Donate today. Go on, do it for the laughs.
Oh, and we're back. Thank you so much for sticking with us.
Yeah. So we come back, and these 3 androids are the last ones left in the building. Rachel is a Nexus 6 android, and she sleeps with Rick Deckard in order to make it difficult for him to kill another. And they fall in love, which I thought was really quick. But
that's explicitly intentional.
That's part of her.
That's what she's been built and designed to do.
Yeah, that's her modus operandi. Latin. See that?
What does it mean in English?
Their
Mode operate. Mode operate.
Mode of operation.
I don't know. I'm not a Latin.
But like I thought it was setting up to be such a finale, and it was just like, oh, one of them looks like me. You'll not really be able to tell if it is me. So you'll not be able to kill her. So one of them's going to get away. But Rick Deckard just walks in and like quick draw pistol
bang,
whips
bang, bang.
3 of them. Like one of them walking up the stairs, bang. 2 in the living room of, I can't remember the chicken head's name. It's really bad them calling him a chicken head. That's probably a derogatory term.
It is a derogatory term
in the Blade Runner word.
Yeah.
But
that's fine. You know which side you're on.
I'm not a chicken head. But yeah, he just murks these 3 immediately, and then immediately has a massive crisis of conscience and finds himself up in Oregon, like driving away in the deserts, and like then he finds this will sound so weird if you haven't read the book, but he finds a toad, and takes it back, and like toads were one of the first animals to go extinct. So he thought, oh my God, it's a massive sign that I've done the right thing, even though the guy Mercer, like the modern day prophet, has told me that it's the wrong thing to do, but I have to do it. And he takes the toad back, finds out it's a fake. All this has happened, by the way. He bought a real goat. This is a massive thing. We're fucking everywhere in this here. I'm everywhere in this. But he buys a goat. He buys a goat and he takes it home to the wife because he was feeling guilty that he slept with the android. He doesn't tell the wife he slept with the android, but he buys it. Here's a goat because of the $3,000 that he just made for killing.
Because he's got an electric sheep.
He's got an electric
which he
sheep.
doesn't. He dreams of a real goat.
Yes. And buys it all anyway. Comes back, and then it just sort of ends. And I thought definitely that last act could have been dragged out 2 more, and like there could have been like a big chase. There could have been more like, sorry Philip K. Dick or your ancestors. I thought it just could have. It left me wanting more, because I really thought like, oh, this is going to be like a crime murder mystery. He's going and interviewing these people. He's trying to trick them up with logic and trying to get them to admit that they're androids. Even in the final gun battle, where he's fired 3 shots out of the 4, he walks in and he says, or one of the androids says, you have to administer the void test to us. And he was sort of like, oh yeah, I actually do. Now that you've requested it, I have to do it. And then one of the androids shoots at him. So they were out of the woods. They could have got the test on, bought more time. Shoots at him. And then he goes, ha, you've just shown your hand by shooting at me. And then guns the 2 of them down. And that's it. That's the entire, you're building up the first 2 acts, all of the story, the great sort of like interview scenes in the fake police station that's full of androids. And now you're just like, he just guns 2 people down in an apartment.
Well, and that's kind of what it's. I quite liked the way it almost fizzles out right at the end. It doesn't keep building, and he just goes back to his life. But he, as a bounty hunter, he gets every robot he kills, every android he kills, he gets loads of money.
Yeah,
and so he's hugely financially incentivized to do it, more so than he is to do anything else.
I think it fizzled out much in the same way that this. He seen the toad. It was massive. It was great. It was fantastic. Oh my God, this is a real animal. This is tangible. And then he gets it home, and the wife goes like, "Oh, there's an electrical panel underneath it," and he goes, "Oh crap." I think that of the story. I think it's fantastic. The first like 60-70% of it was fantastic. Great story, building a lot easier to read than some novels. Definitely used modern day language. But like, yeah, I did. I really enjoyed the story. But yeah, I thought the ending could have been way stronger.
But that's kind of what it's about, right? It's about his resignation into the systems and the society as it exists. So Rick Deckard likes the idea of him being a bit of a thinking outside the box. You know, he's kind of been coasting through life. Like, he wasn't the main robot hunter, android hunter in the society until the androids killed the guy who was.
Yeah.
And so he's picking up the end of this case that someone else has already. He's not investigating who are robots. He's given a list of these people are the robots. You go and kill them. You can double check if you've got any qualms. But basically,
if you would like to test them,
exactly, yeah. And he's dreaming of having a real pet that isn't a robot pet.
Yeah.
And that's what matters to him, is getting that money so he can have a real pet.
Also, that's one thing I found very strange, and that maybe speaks to like the 1960s and all this here. It was very much like, whenever if you do pick up this book, and because I did enjoy the book, whenever you first pick it up and start looking through it, the first 2 chapters are pretty much setting the story up and showing how it is like keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah,
and it's the neighbour has a real horse,
so you've got to try and get a real cow.
You have to get a real cow, or like he tries to buy one of the ponies, and we're like, no, my God, the list price is off the charts. You'll not be able to afford it. You know, like, stick with your little electric sheep, which the fake electric sheep that he has died.
Yeah, it's not. It's on its last legs.
It's on its last legs. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sheep were never great. And it lives on the roof of his house. I love that.
Yeah,
like,
all the animals live on the roofs of the
Yeah.
houses, even though there's nuclear dust
yeah.
in the air. So it's a strange, but it's like it builds this complex society. You know,
Yeah.
it's a big setup for the action to take place in, which is nice. Which is what good genre fiction does. That I think.
Yeah.
You know,
And,
builds.
one of the things I like about that helped me understand the book, but it helped me understand the movie more,
Mhm.
and how I think it made me appreciate. Once I was watching it, going like, I was imagining it totally different, but this is amazing. So you've got like Blade Runner, and then you've got Blade Runner 2049, which is the Ryan Gosling one,
Mhm.
and Harrison Ford one, whereas the previous one's on Harrison Ford. But like again, it made me appreciate it more, and then go like, oh, this part was in the book, and it helped explain that. I know this isn't a movie podcast, but I think sometimes it's helpful whenever you think you've got something in your head and you're picturing something, but then all of a sudden they actually show you it.
Mhm.
And one of the things I like about the movie, and I'm not banging on about the movie too much, is that even though we're in the future and we've got electric floating cars, we've got androids, we've got fake sheep and chickens and toads and all this here sort of stuff, they still had payphones.
But it's 1992, right? There were still payphones in 1992.
There's still payphones. Like mobiles weren't a massive thing, but they still, in the cars, they had video calls. In the book, they had like video calling, and the pictures weren't that great. But it shows that like technology got to a certain point in time, and then everything just like fell on Earth, and they've moved to Mars, and like they've made big improvements there. But it's
which
like,
is probably what's going to happen here, right?
yeah, it's like frozen in time. But yeah, I liked it, man. On a on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is Wuthering Heights and 10 is like a great book, I'm definitely like 6.5. I don't know if I would like pick it up and read it again, but I would definitely like.
It's
I'm
solid.
glad I have.
It does exactly what it's trying to do. Have you read any? I've read The Man in the High Castle before, and I enjoyed that a lot, which is the alternative.
That's on our
history.
list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Spoilers. No, that's I have it at the house. I think it's on our list to read.
Mm-hmm.
But I am looking forward to it, because again, I've seen a couple of episodes of the TV adaptation, and I thought like, oh, this is interesting. I suppose like I've watched a couple of like TV series like Handmaid's Tale would be a great one, but the book is actually just like one book, isn't it? Or is
Yeah,
it-
I think she's written sequels since, but I think she wrote the sequels after the TV series.
Yeah. So like, yeah, as adaptations go, they're fairly great. But yeah, The Man in the High Castle was another one that he did. I'm struggling to think of another.
I mean, those are the two big ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
Those are the two big ones. Nice. I think we are actually nearing the end of this one, aren't we?
Yeah, I liked it. Oh, one more thing that I wanted to put up, that maybe just like put a pin in everything, was that I'm discovering a lot of the books that I'm reading that like a lot of people set out immediately the class of things, and like the like we spoke about Wuthering Heights, about the strata of classes where you get highborn, lowborn, and then you get way down at the bottom, people like me. You made that very clear. But it's like you get people here, real animals, fake animals, chicken heads, androids.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very funny to me that like people give a shit more, and they send like their fake their electric sheep to the vets or the mechanics to get fixed up. They'll send them off, get them looked at, get them serviced, make sure everything's spot and everything's great, because they're cute and cuddly, and that's what they want.
Mm-hmm.
But androids can go fuck themselves.
But that feels very realistic, right? I mean, there was a point in time where the most successful charity in the UK was a donkey sanctuary.
Yeah.
You know, and that's I think that's a pretty bleak thing.
Oh yeah, like
but
NSPCC can go.
Yeah, exactly.
We care about the donkeys
more than people, more than children, and that's the kind of thing that this is about, right? It's very easy to dehumanize people, and the whole reason why they've built the androids is to have people to be dehumanized, to do the disgusting jobs that need to be done as part of colonization. And the next book we're going to talk about, actually, it has a lot about colonization in it too. It's a little spoiler, little teaser for the next episode.
Yes, it does.
but right, you need disposable humanoid figures in order to exploit land.
It's
and
interesting the language you use there, disposable.
But that's exactly it.
Yeah,
right? That's what the androids are for.
I do understand.
And the androids fighting back, the androids trying to have their free life, is exactly the same as what we'll be discussing in the next episode, I think.
Yeah.
Oof, another Heathcliff hanger for the end of the episode.
Bringing that to an android.
Hey.
Right. For more crafty singers like this, join us in the next episode. Thank you very much, everyone.
So much. We've been big and bold.
And a book club.
It's the Big Bald Book Club. We're gonna read some books. Listen to the Big Bald Book Club. If you wanna see more smarter about books and that.